Hey everybody, you got Benjamin Diggles here, the VP of Business Development for Constellation Labs, checking in with our newest proposal release. This one is for the U.S. Air Force and the Department of Defense. It's an SBIR Phase 1 proposal. In the document that I shared along with this video on the cover letter, you'll get a chance to see a little bit about what SBIR stands for and what Phase 1 means and so forth. So that said, I wanted to talk a little bit about what multi-domain command and control is and why we chose this topic. Multi-domain operations, MDO, is kind of the umbrella term for multi-domain command and control initiatives. And really, if you think about what a domain is really an agency or a business unit. Really think of it as an individualized business group within the Department of Defense. You know, you think about like satellites or ground troops or, an air fleet or whatnot. They have their own rules of engagement, their own data sets, their own systems, their own way of communicating. And a lot of that stuff is obfuscated and kind of bolted down or locked down for very good reasons. I mean, that's what's the security of our nation and a lot of other things is predicated on. And so that while that's really great having some of these legacy systems that have that stuff really isolated for that group, when it comes to intermingling or interoperating that data with other groups or other domains, if you will, that becomes very complicated, especially when you're thinking about how much new data is coming online and the ability to pull data out of some of these legacy systems so that, and when you think about a mission control center can make quick decisioning, that becomes rather cumbersome. And we've learned that the resources involved in this are excruciating. The operating costs that require and the manual effort to be able to take that data out of one of these systems, make sense of it, and then deploy it within an interoperated data set to make quick decisions is actually a very, very tough process. In fact, it has been said when it comes to big data in the government, this is kind of the creme de la creme or the top of their true struggles around managing big data. So when you think about what Constellation is doing around validating this big data and preparing it as close to the source as possible so that as it goes downstream, it's in a position to interoperate, we were very attractive for this proposal. So we chose multi-domain command and control because it's a huge issue that we feel our solution can have a huge impact around. So that kind of explains a little bit about what multi-domain command and control or multi-domain operations is. Constellation being a solution that will be integrated as close to the source as possible. And really, when we think about this phase 1, we're going to be interfacing with 2 to 3 constituents or agencies or domains, if you will, in order to get their buy-off and their blessing that they see the possibility in this. They can see from a practicality perspective how it will work. And that's one of our legs up, as Constellation has stated, is that our ease of integration is one of our big features or one of the big talking points of our solution. So we feel very confident around that. But getting those groups to really validate that is really what this phase 1's about. And then we take that research and those findings, and we take that applied research and we go into phase 2 to build out a closed scenario in which we take that data and we show that it's possible. And by doing that, it opens up their minds of possibility and they're excited and so forth. But then we move into beyond, which will really be taking it into commercial viability. And that's really the name of the game here. And when, just to kind of talk a little bit about the big data that we're up against, this is going to require a 21st century solution, something very modern. You're not going to get this out of a central computer. You're not going to get this out of, kind of the traditional ways of managing data. It's just not cost effective and it's not secure enough. So they're looking to groups like us that see ways that we can actually secure this data, clean it before it comes downstream, and make it very quick to make decisions on. That's extremely attractive to them. And it's going to require more than a permission solution. Sure, we're going to use a permission approach when it comes to validating kind of the use case from a closed perspective. That said, this is really ripe for a public ledger. This is going to require a public ledger. A directed acyclic graph could not be a better solution when you think about the needs of a distributed ledger managing this amount of data coming online. So we're very, very excited about it. We really hope that you enjoy the proposal. Please let us know what questions you have, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. As you know, there's certain things we can't talk about, so we'll have to avoid those, but we'll answer as much as we possibly can. But get excited about this one. This is one that, for me in my career, I would have never guessed that I would be at a place working on something of this magnitude and showing that there's real viability here. It's very exciting. So hope you enjoy, and we'll talk soon.